Google Earth. It's a wonderful free app that helps people learn about their geographic and cultural worlds. Great activity for any setting, whether you're in a day hab or you're in a residential setting or you're in any kind of vocational setting. If you have a couple of minutes, this doesn't have to be a long lesson, 10, 15 minutes, but just try it. It really works great if you can get the visuals on a large smart TV or a smart board. If you can hook up your iPad to that, that's really great. You can also access this directly through the web, so you can do it on a desktop computer, but it's really, the visuals are fantastic if you can put it on a big screen. And it gives people an awareness of their surroundings. And a lot of folks have a very narrow focus on their world. They kind of know where they live. They might just know the block that they live on, but as far as surrounding areas, they may not know. It's a good way to help people just learn about basic directions, what town is next to them, which is north, south, all these good things. Most of us don't get a chance to travel that much except during vacation time. This is a way that all you have to do is type in an address or a name of a landmark like the Empire State Building or a destination, and zoom, you're there. So let's take a look at this. The opening screen on the app shows what else? The Earth. On the side of the screen, there is a bunch of menu icons that we'll go over. The one on the top, it provides you with various settings, plus it gives you a good tutorial, nice short tutorial on how to use Google Earth. This little magnifying glass is the search window, and you can type in an exact address, but if you just put in landmarks, say like the Statue of Liberty or San Francisco, you just type San Francisco in there and it'll take you there and you can start exploring. Voyager, they have a lot of pre-made trips that you can go on and learn about the world. That's a whole nother lesson, but it's really, really great stuff. And you can just start this, and you don't even have a suggestion on where to go. You can just say, do I feel lucky, and roll the dice, and you can find places that you've never explored before. Maybe it'll take you to the top of Mount Everest. Maybe it'll take you to the Grand Canyon. Who knows? But you can just roll the dice. Once you get to a place, this little item here that looks like a ruler allows you to set a point and measure the distance from where you are, where your location is, to another location. So you could use this, how many feet is it to the bus stop? Or you can say, how many blocks is it down to my home from the grocery store? You could do any kind of measurements. You can take the images that show and use them as a picture. You can send and manipulate the location picture via message or mail. And there's a little button that looks like a compass-y kind of thing, and that's your location. So you just press that, and as long as you have enabled the GPS feature, it'll automatically go to wherever you are. On this little guy gives you the street view of where you are, and the street view is pretty much limited to public roads. It doesn't go into detail areas, and you can view this either on a simple 2D top-down view or get into 3D where you see lots of scaling. And talked about north and south before. Well, here's a compass orientation. Kind of say, well, which way is your house from here? Is it north, south, east, or west? And you can get an idea from there. So here's a picture. I put in our office location, 265 Sawmill River Road in beautiful Hawthorne, New York. And here's our little office complex there. This is sort of a 3D-ish version. If I was live on the screen here, you could see that you can manipulate it with your fingers by pinching and expanding and bringing down the vertical and horizontal levels, so you can get a lot of detail. And here, as long as there's a blue line indicated on that top-down map, you can press the button and see if there's a street view available. So here's the entrance to our office complex. It won't give you pictures inside the complex, but it'll give you pictures down this main drag, which is beautiful Route 9 in Westchester, 9A. And, you can also manipulate this and look this way and that way. So, it could be a very simple kind of thing, like after I leave the building, which way do I turn? Right or left? How do I get to the grocery store? And you can follow this street view, and I am absolutely amazed at how much mapping Google has done. There are so many major areas that have been mapped. So, you could start navigating and keep going up this road and see what's up there. Really, really cool experience. So just say that somebody in the group says, hey, I'm Italian. I want to go to Rome. And you say, fine. And so you not only you type in Rome, and all of a sudden you get all the location of Rome, but all the areas around it. Plus you get these little knowledge cards on the side that give you a view of highlights. And here, it's showing the Colosseum in Rome, and then points of interest in Rome. You click on that and it'll go to a whole bunch of other knowledge cards. So, cultural history, facts about the place you're going to, it's wonderful. You can really have a lot of fun with it. And then somebody else in the group says, hey, I want to go to the Disney World, to the Magic Kingdom. Well, there it is. Okay, here we are again with another knowledge card. It talks about when the park was started, some information on it. You can go to various places on here. Gives you a lot of information. It's a great free resource, but really what you can do with it. Well, the question isn't so much of what you can do with it, but think of all the possibilities. So you could ask somebody, where do you live? Do you know the places around where you live? What's your nationality? Have you ever visited your homeland, where your relatives came from? And this is a classic, especially when you're talking about voting issues and stuff, and you ask, what's the capital of the state? And is the government up there? Have you ever visited? You could go into a whole side conversation about visiting government officers and doing advocacy. Really interesting stuff. Where would you like to visit? And you get a range of questions. Disney World is always kind of on the top there and stuff, but I want to go to the Grand Canyon. I want to go to Los Angeles. I want to go to Hollywood. Have you ever told anybody about your wishes? Your care coordinator, your family? Do people know that you'd really like to go there? Is there any way that you could possibly actually make it real? And with Google Earth, let's take a look at it and see what's around there. Would you like to live in a new place? And again, back to a lot of practical experience I've had. So many people just know the area where they live. And you say, would you like to live in, for sake example, nearby is Mount Kisco. But if you don't know Mount Kisco, you have no idea. I could be saying Albania. And so let's go explore via Google Earth. Let's look around at the neighborhoods. What does the new town look like? How far is your new job from the house? How are you going to get there? Is it a long trip, a short trip? Again, back to which way is north? Do you know any other directions? And would you like to take a Voyager trip? Those are those pre-prepared visits around the world that you can take. And absolutely wonderful opportunities for discussion with the group. And does anybody in the group use Google Maps or Apple Maps to get around? On Google Maps, it's wonderful. You have bus routes, you have walking directions, train directions, driving directions. And if we can help people learn how to use these things, how much more independence could they get? But just to know where they are in the world, that they are part of the world, is such a great thing to teach people.